So you're looking to build more muscle with bodyweight training without any gym or fancy equipment? Well, stay tuned, as in today's video I'm going to give you the #1 tip and method to build more muscle with only your body weight that's going to result in instant gains faster. Right, now before I get into the good stuff, the good, valuable, juicy content, I just want to say if this is your first time here, you're new to bodyweight training and calisthenics, and want to build muscle and burn fat with simply your body weight, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications, because every single video I make on this YouTube channel are dedicated for people like you, my friend. And please note, in order to actually employ this method effectively, you need to know exactly what it is, how it works, and how to actually do it yourself. So if I were you, I would stay until the very end and watch the entire video. I won't disappoint, my friend. And so this tip, this method, in order to actually boost your gains within bodyweight training, is to improve your mind-muscle connection. Now, some of you may be watching this who are more new to bodyweight training and may think, Jake, what the fuck is this mind-muscle connection shit? Well, in short, the mind-muscle connection is simply the synergy between your brain and your muscles, as the name actually suggests. And this is actually important because, ironically enough, the exercises you perform do not actually work the muscles. It's the brain that controls and sends the signals in order for the muscles to contract. So in order to gain a better understanding of this, in short, when you are performing a bodyweight exercise, your brain sends a signal that travels through the nervous system and reaches the muscle fibers in which you are working. And so what this means is that everything in which the muscle does in order to contract and perform against resistance comes through the brain. The muscles follow the brain, not the opposite. I hope you're taking notes if you didn't know this before. It's gonna help you out a lot. And the reason why this is imperative in bodyweight training, because if you can actually improve the strength and coordination of the neuromuscular system, the strength and speed of muscle contractions is therefore going to increase, which is therefore going to boost gains, as you'll be able to exert a greater force against the given resistance, which is going to enable you to apply more force against more resistance. And again, this is why the mind-muscle connection is so important, because if you can't learn and you don't actually know how to fire up the right muscles in specific exercises, you've got absolutely no chance in progressing in it long term. So for example, the pull-up, when people start out with bodyweight training and actually start training the pull-up, the problem that people have, which is what I actually struggled with before significantly, is that when people pull up, they pull and lead way more with the arms and the biceps as opposed to activating and engaging the bigger and stronger muscles in the back. And this is simply because the connection between their mind and their muscles are simply too weak. In order to progress within bodyweight training in the most efficient and effective manner, you must be able to do so with proper technique and immaculate technique when performing exercises in order to avoid snap sitting. And this can only be done by actually learning and practicing and getting better at activating the right muscles in the right exercises. And so when it actually comes to applying the mind-muscle connection, please note, this is a skill. Strength is a skill, as I've said so much on this channel. The more you practice it, the better you'll get at it. So for cognitives, unfortunately at start, yes, it is going to be hard, as I've experienced myself, but over time you will get better and the results are going to show. And so one thing which you actually want to do in order to start practicing the mind-muscle connection is actually lower the intensity of exercise you're performing, so such as going for around 8 to 12, maybe even 10 to 15 reps. And what you can actually do, as well as lowering the intensity, is increase the time under tension. So for a pull-up, you may want to go for a slower eccentric and then pause at the top for an extra second or two, because especially when starting out, if you're training at such a high intensity, it's going to be so hard to actually be able to engage with the muscles you intend to work, because the load is so great in order to do so, and you're just simply not experienced enough. But don't worry, we all got to start somewhere, my friend. And although I said you can increase the time and attention, you don't want to do this to like such a large extent like some people do. You don't want to do this as if you're auditioning for some kind of slow, deep matrix shit, alright? If the time and attention is too great, you're only going to be building endurance rather than strength and muscle, which is counterintuitive for your goals. Now in terms of like how to explain the mind-muscle connection, it's very hard because it's going to differ from person to person. Everyone likes doing it in different ways individually, but in short, what you want to do, instead of just going through the motions, you actually want to be in the motion. You don't just want to move through the motions, you want to feel the motions by really trying to engage and activate the muscles you intend to work. So for example, with the pull-up, you don't just want to go up to the bar and just try and pull yourself up and down. As you come up, you really want to try and engage and activate those lats by practicing on pulling your elbows down and back in order to get that shoulder horizontal abduction that's necessary to activate the latissimus dorsi optimally. And as you learn and actually are able to activate the muscles you intend to work, you're going to get better and better at the execution of the exercise. And yes, like I said, this is hard to do at start, but please persevere, as the benefits you're going to gain are going to be phenomenal in the long run. So the benefits of the mind-muscle connection is, like I've said already, when you actually learn to perfect your form and practice your technique to activate the right muscles, when you actually move on and train harder variations at a high intensity, you're going to find it way easier because you've learned and practiced how to engage the right muscles in the right way for the specific exercise. So for example, the push-up, if you are someone who wants to learn the one-arm push-up, by doing easier push-ups beforehand, you're going to find the one-arm push-up progressions far easier because you properly learn how to fire up and engage the chest whilst maintaining full body tension under such a high resistance. For the pistol squat, by learning how to really focus on engaging and contracting the quadriceps and the hamstrings and even the glutes, it's going to be so much easier to really push through the heels, which is going to make any leg exercise far more powerful as you're able to exert more force against gravity. Wait, shh, I'm making a video, mate. Shh, shh, shh. And in addition, the mind-muscle connection actually increases neuroactivity, local fatigue, and muscle fiber recruitment, which are all factors to muscle growth. So you're gonna build more muscle and strength. And lastly, some of you may be thinking, Jake, how much should I implement this into my routine? To what extent should I do this? And well, to be honest, with every exercise you perform, you really want to actually focus on being in the motions in order to increase your neuromuscular coordination and efficiency in the best way possible, because that's what's going to help you gain results long term. But as a good rule of thumb, spare 1 or 2 exercises at the end of a workout to really focus on improving your technique of the exercise itself, rather than only just focusing on increasing the intensity. Because yes, you do need more resistance in order to build more strength and muscle, but intensity simply cannot be handled if technique is not there, which is why the mind-muscle connection is so essential. And so as I said, if you enjoyed this video, you like this content, you gain some value from watching every single second of this video, which I should hope, right? I should hope. Remember to like the video and comment down below that this video came at good hands to you, so I know that I am doing my job correctly to provide as much value possible to you watching this video. And if you don't believe me, you think the mind-muscle connection is just garbage, the mind-muscle connection is what actually helped me significantly from recovering from my groin injury at the start of this year to build more strength and muscle with simply my body weight at home, which has allowed me to build more strength and muscle with calisthenics. So if you actually want to see that 5-month transformation, I'll leave a link to that in this end screen here. It's actually starting to rank under the search of calisthenics transformation, which is actually a good indication that's a fucking sick video, because it is. And I think you'll enjoy watching it if you haven't already. So as that's enough for me today, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you, my friend, in the near future.